but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. 4 stars? Hello, we're going to be continuing series I'm in the middle of reading, and we're also going to be binge reading books because that's what I'm in the mood for. So it's also mood reading, but my mood is that I want to binge book series that I'm in the middle of. Starting with the Ember quartet, I read An Ember in the Ashes. The last reading vlog I finished, I was going to film me reading that, but I was traveling and I just got busy, so I didn't. But that's the only book I've read since my last reading vlog. And I read it in one sitting. It was so good. I started it on the plane and I finished it by the time I was home in bed. Only took a couple hours. I thought it was so good. It's the only thing that sort of hit or touched anything close to the reading slump I was feeling after finishing This Woven Kingdom. But this is more, I don't know, it's different, but it's similar vibes. I don't know how to explain it because it's nothing alike at all, but I feel like if you really enjoyed This Woven Kingdom and you're wanting something a little bit more mature but just as interesting with different characters, different dynamics, with kingdoms and an empire. Our main female character in This Woven Kingdom was posing as a servant, hiding as a servant, and our main female character in An Ember in the Ashes sort of had to went undercover as a type of servant. I don't know what it is, I just love these types of fantasy books so much. So we've started book 2, but I wanted to read it on my Kindle because I'm in a Kindle reading mood. Like, I just want to sit and read some Kindle books because they're so easy. I get through them really quickly. They're comfortable. I can put it in my Kindle stand. So we're like 10% of the way through. We have chapters in this book following a new character. Well, it's not a new character, but like we didn't get this side characters chapters in book 1, but we're getting them in book 2, and it's opening up the storyline and also the world a bit more because everyone has been doing different things. Now, obviously I can't really talk about what the book's about or the plot or what's sort of happening without there being spoilers, so I'm not going to go into it too much, but I am going to sit and binge this entire book and you're going to see me reading this book. 4 books total in the series. I've read book 1, so we're going to read book 2. Maybe I'll read books 3 and 4 if we have time. In this reading vlog I'd like to read 5 books, so we're going to see how many I can do, and I also would like to read 5 books before the 1st of November because the end of the month, literally right around the corner, we have 4 days. So I'd like to read 5 books in 4 days and we're going to vlog it all. So we're starting with A Torch Against the Night, and I'm actually so excited for this. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna go sit and read. Hi everyone. So it is actually a few days later and I have flown to London and back, and I actually met Saba, Tahia, the author of The Ember Quartet, the book that we've been reading. So I finished book 2 before I met her. I finished it the morning of the last clips that you saw. Cooper's also not feeling very well right now, aren't you? So we're just having a stay-at-home chilled evening to watch Cooper and do some reading, but I finished book 2, was jumping back and forth between my Kindle and the books, and book 2 is 5 stars because the reveals, I can't say anything without spoiling it because it's book 2 in a series, you know? The only way that I can just sort of describe this series, like there's nothing else like it, but I would say from me, it's kind of like if you took Throne of Glass and This Woven Kingdom, both YA books focusing mainly on fantasy and politics with like a minor subplot of romance, you know, and then you combine the two. It has a bit of vibes of both of them, you know. We have from Throne of Glass these different parts of this world that you're traveling to and trying to make alliances and there's a lot of politics and betrayal. But we also have people who were brought up in completely opposite sides of this world with opposing beliefs and morals, and a lot of what people have been told and, you know, learnt throughout the years, they're finding out that actually things can be different. There's a whole cast of characters that are so different, and there's a lot of butting heads, and the dynamic between them all I'm just obsessed with. But also I'd say it's a bit more serious than this Woven Kingdom, like a little bit older, similar to Throne of Glass age level. Like I feel like they're both on the same level when it comes to how mature the book feels for a YA, but also the type of content that's in it, in terms of like talking about battle scenes and actions, romance, things like that. So I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a 5-star series for me, and I can say that because I have also read book 3. Surprise! I didn't vlog it because I didn't think I was going to read it that fast. I started reading it straight after I finished book 2, and I was like, well, I'm going to go down for this event, which was in my London vlog that you would have seen. You would have seen me meet Seba. I hadn't finished book 3 at that point, and I ended up finishing it the day I travelled home the next day. So that was a 4.75 star read for me. So I think book 1 was 4.5, book 2 5 stars, book 3 4.75 stars. I feel like the plot twist in book 2 got me more than the plot twist in book 3. Huge things happened in book 3. The plot is really like pivoting, and I personally really love the direction that it's going. I think it makes sense. I think it feels right. I think it's the natural direction of the story to go, but I don't know how we're going to resolve that in book 4. Will I read book 4 in this vlog? I don't know. I really want to binge the series and stuff, but I also feel like I need a little bit of a palate cleanser now. And I did read, basically when I was looking on Goodreads, I saw that Ali Hazelwood has a collection of novellas, 3 of them to be specific, and I read the first one and that was really fun. So I thought, why not sit here and read the second and the third, because they're only like less than 200 pages each, around that. So I'm thinking we'll probably just sit and read the 2 novellas, and then that way that interconnected novella little mini series is completed, because I've read book 1, and then that's another series to tick off my list, because this video is continuing series I'm in the middle of. So that's what we're doing. Anyways, I'm just making some pasta. We're gonna eat some food, and then we're gonna sit and we're gonna read some Ali Hazelwood to switch it up. I need a little bit of a easy, short, fast read. I'm not slumping at all. I feel like I'm definitely out of my reading slump now. I am going into a big reading weekend this weekend. I wonder what reading challenge that could possibly be. I guess you'll see in a couple weeks, but I've got a big reading weekend ahead, and to sort of get myself in the mood for that, I feel like reading some little shorter, easier, smaller stories really helps getting me into the groove, basically. It's like the warm-up before the race, you know? So that's the plan. Enough yapping, let's read. I love Ali Hazelwood books, I do, and apparently I also love her novellas. The first novella was quite similar to like a typical romance story, but the second one is quite a fun plot. They're basically like trapped in an elevator, but both stories so far have been between like 2 main characters who already know each other or have some type of history, and there's like time jumps, so it's like present moment and then a couple weeks or a couple months in the past when they first met and like what went wrong. And it also follows 3 best friends, so each best friend has their own novella and it's their story, so it's like really cute. You got like little crossovers, but they're like 100 to 200 pages each max, so very short, but I'm really enjoying it. Like this is very fun, and I feel like a lot of people say that Ali Hazelwood stories are quite similar, like same types of characters. And they're always engineers or people working in STEM, doctors, and there always seems to be some type of conflict with a boss or a mentor or a professor or something who doesn't take our main female character seriously or undermines them. Like there's a lot of similarities of things that she puts in her book, but I love that because it feels familiar. I guess if you're only reading that back to back, it can get a bit samey, but it just feels in this like I want an Ali Hazelwood read and I'm getting an Ali Hazelwood read. Like, it's hitting, it's giving me all the same familiar tropes and stuff, but like done in a new story. You were so needy, Cooper. But I am flying through these very quickly. We really are just copy and pasting conflicts when it comes to Ali Hazelwood books, but the timeline for this one and the feelings is insane, but also like the hopeless romantic in my brain is like, yeah, love at first sight is the thing. Like, you could fall in love with someone in a day. Can you actually? No, but I'm like, I still love it. At least like the first novella took place across months. This is like a 3-week period and they didn't speak for 2 weeks and 6 days. It's fiction. We've moved to the bed to finish this book. I'm literally just reading about NASA and Mars, and which is not where I thought this was gonna go. All 3 stories are like completely different in terms of like the actual storyline plot itself. It's just sort of like the character types and types of conflict and stuff are similar, but like there's so much NASA space talk in this one, which is very interesting. But I'm like, I don't understand what anyone's talking about, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Oh, this is fun. This is different. So I am enjoying it. I just love Ali Hazelwood. That's it. That's all. So we're gonna finish this because I have less than 60 pages to go through this now. I think we'll be done pretty quickly. I finished. That was fun. That was really fun. Very easy read. I am feeling very good about that. I think out of all 3 novellas, the first one was my favorite. 4 stars? Yeah, we'll go with that. They were fun. Very good novellas. It's bedtime, so I am going to go to sleep now, and then we'll catch up tomorrow. I want to pick up the next book that I'm going to read. So it is a few days later now. It is officially November, so I didn't get to finish 5 books. Well, I did read 5 books. I just didn't read 5 books in this vlog in October. So what am I saying? I had 2 goals. I wanted to read 5 books in this vlog and also 5 books by the end of October. And I did read 5 books by the end of October. We're in November now. I read something for a different vlog. The long story's short, but I always end up making the story even longer than it actually needs to be. We are picking up the 5th and final book that is going to be in this reading vlog, I think. This was on my October TBR and I didn't have enough time to pick it up, but it was prioritized to be picked up the first week of November, which it is now. That took me way too long to explain. And bestie Sarah actually picked this one for my TBR because she loves the duology. This is a book that I have been avoiding picking up. Like, I'm so scared to read this. This is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is the 2nd book in the Six of Crows series duology. This is, you know, OG. We all know that I only really got back into reading and started picking up books this year. So I'm like wanting to read all of the really popular books that everyone raves about and loves. Books that are other people's Roman empires, some of their favorites, what got them back into reading. And Six of Crows is one that a lot of people love. And I think because my expectations were so high from so many people telling me that I would love it and be obsessed with it and it's the best book they've ever read, when I went into it I was a bit like, oh yeah, like this is good, but it's like not my favorite. We follow a group of characters and they are undertaking a heist, but they're all like 17 years old. They're all younger than I thought. I know it's a young adult book, so it makes sense that they're young, but we have this group of kids who are all kind of misfits, but all have their own unique power or special skill set that they bring for this heist. Book 1, this group undertook a heist and it ended on a, would I say it's cliffhanger? Things didn't go completely as planned and it was set up for book 2. We have book 2. Book 2 is bigger than book 1. It's actually very, very big and the pages are quite small. Like the font on it and the size is a relatively small font, so it's probably going to take me a while to read. I'd love to read this entire thing today. I just don't know if I have the time, but hopefully we can finish it like today and tomorrow because there are so many books that I want to read. There's so many new releases coming out, and if I don't read this now, I'm going to continue putting it off forever. Maybe? Question mark. But I did see a little bit of a spoiler on TikTok. So a TikTok edit came up on my For You page and it was 4 or 5 books, I can't remember exactly how many, but it had like photos of these characters in like really cute scenes and stuff, and then it was a swipe to another photo, and the photos was something really sad, like a big plot twist and something sad that happens in the book to characters. So there was like Throne of Glass one, I think maybe like a Fourth Wing one. I was like, oh my god, yeah, those characters, and like I remember what happened to them. But there was one fan art or character art on the screen that I was like, I don't know what book that is or what character that is, like that doesn't look familiar, I don't think I've read that. So I read the comments, it was something that happens in this, and I was like, okay, so that's been spoiled to me. And I feel like if I went into it blind, I probably would have not enjoyed what happened, but been more like, OMG, shocked. That's the word. But because I know it's coming, I don't think it's gonna like make the reading experience any less exciting or enjoyable for me. These are wrong words to be using for what happens. But I think I'm gonna be reading this the whole time and feeling more connected because I know what's happening and it's gonna be up, like pulling up my heartstrings. But I'm also quite sad about that. But I said my main reason that I wasn't like 5-star obsessed with book 1 was because I feel like I wanted more of the characters. I wanted to connect to them more, and everyone said that everything that I said I was missing in book 1 I will get in book 2. I think I just got to pick it up and go for it, read it. So let's read book 2 in the Six of Crows duology, Crooked Kingdom, and then that will be a second book series in this vlog today that we will be ticking off and completing. Yay, 6 books down, 6 books down. Yay, 2 series down once I finish reading this. I have just under 3 hours until I have to leave the house for my ballet class. So I'm gonna sit and try and read as much of this as I can. I know I read Six of Crows a bit slower than I usually do, like my reading speed or pace on that was a little bit slower. But if I can read like 200 pages before I have to leave, I will be very happy with that, because that will be just under 50%, because what, this book is like 560 or something. So, Coops, in here, hi. Hello, up the ramp. Even if she's not in the same room as me, as soon as I start speaking to a camera, she hears it. She's like, I'm coming for you. Yeah, you love when mommy sits and reads because you just get all of the scratches. So we want to be in the ultimate concentration mode, so gonna put on some headphones and some brown noise and then we can start reading. We've read part 1, we're on to part 2 now, which is short. We're like 70 pages in. It's also getting very, very dark. It's only 3 p.m. and the sun is disappearing. I've got just under 2 hours to go and I would like to read another 130 pages. I do think I am enjoying this more than book 1 though. It's actually really good. I don't know if it's just because I know all the characters already and I'm familiar with the world and stuff, so we're just like jumping straight into the story. But also I feel like the stakes are higher. It's a bit more emotional rather than, you know, we're talking about people rather than objects. One thing about me reading books, if I don't read them back to back or like binge a book series, a lot of people ask if I remember things that happen in the book, and obviously naturally over time you're not going to remember every single little piece of information. I feel like that's like nearly impossible for everyone. But jumping straight into this book, it's like a flip switch in my brain and I was like, oh yeah, I remember everything now. I feel like I just read the book yesterday, even the first book yesterday, even though I hadn't. But I'm really enjoying it. I do really love the way that Leigh Bardugo writes. Some of the quotes and things in this book right now are very on the nose for real world stuff. I can visualize everything in this like a TV show or a movie or something. Like I can see it, I can visualize it, and I love books that give me such a strong visual. It makes the reading experience more interesting, because for me, I'm someone where I'm reading a book, I'm seeing everything happen in my head. I can imagine every scene. I feel like I'm watching a movie. It's so hard to explain, and also crazy how your brain and imagination works to be able to do that. But there are some books that give me like stronger visuals, more atmospheric reads where I can just picture everything, and I'm like, this would be such a good movie or TV show. I know there's an adaptation and it got for like all of the Grishaverse, but it got cancelled and I've not seen that, but I have seen like edits of Kaz Brecker. Yeah, anyways, we're gonna start part 2. Hello, so we are in my reading room. Did I get distracted on TikTok for an hour and a half and then decided to make a TikTok audio sound myself? Yes, I did. Anyways, I did use my Audible credit to listen to the book while I drove to and from ballet. It honestly was a short drive, so. But let's see how many pages we're in. Okay, about 130 pages. I got 70 more pages in than when I last spoke to you. And we are just finishing part 2. I was very optimistic saying that I was going to read this tonight because I did not have enough time to read this tonight. I would like to get at least halfway through, which to me looks like we get to part 4. So I'm going to finish part 2 and then read all of part 3, but we're going to do that in bed, and then I'm going to wake up tomorrow early and we're going to finish the book in the morning. That's the plan. I am thoroughly enjoying this. I am enjoying this already more than I was enjoying the first book. It's so good. I feel like now I'm understanding the hype. Now I'm like, oh yeah, I see why everyone was raving about it and why it's so loved. When I am reading the book, I don't want to do anything else. I just want to keep reading. It's very entertaining. The chapters are long. The only thing is I'm going through this phase right now where I can't stop doom scrolling. Like, I actually need to physically put my phone on charge in a completely separate room for me to sit and read without any distractions, because I keep wanting to pick up my phone for no reason. I don't even want to be on my phone. I don't know why. I don't know what is happening. I could be halfway through this book already, but I'm not. But it's okay, because I decided to talk about books on TikTok instead, so I'll allow myself that. But I'm gonna sit in bed and read as much of this as I can before I fall asleep, and then we'll pick this back up tomorrow morning with an update of how far we're in and thoughts. But so far, already enjoying it more than book 1, because I already have that background and understanding and that rapport with the characters. And I think like the concept for the plot in book 1 was more interesting, but the actual execution of the plot in book 2 is more interesting. Does that make sense? I opened Goodreads and saw that Sarah's reading Metal Slinger, which is my favourite book, and what I recommended her to read, which is also absolutely terrifying. I get very nervous when people ask me to recommend books, because I'm like, I love this, but I don't know if you will. She recommended me to read this book and picked it as part of my TBR for last month. So very funny that we're both reading a book that we picked for each other at the same time, coincidentally. Anyways, I'm gonna keep reading. Yeah, let's do that. Hello everyone. So it is not actually the next morning, it's the next evening. I was gonna get up early and read this morning and just finish it and get it done, but I wasn't feeling that well and I had some things to do, so I ended up listening to the audiobook throughout the day, and I only have a little bit left. We are on just at the end of part 5, so we're on page 423, which means we've got 113 pages to go, and I can easily fly through that. I am enjoying this book. I think it's giving me 4 stars so far. Book 1 I said was like 3.75, so maybe this will be 4.25 actually. I don't know. What I saw the spoiler for hasn't happened yet, and I know it's only a matter of time, and the closer we get, I'm like, oh, this is actually gonna be brutal. It's gonna hurt so much. So I just want everyone to be happy and have a happy ending. And the audiobook is really good. I just used some Audible credits to get it. I think it's only available on Audible. Well, each chapter focuses on a different character's point of view, and the audiobook has different voice actors for each character. So every chapter is voiced by a different character, which is really, really fun. I love when audiobooks do that rather than just having one voice for the whole thing. Sad that we're getting close to finishing this, because then it means I'm gonna have to part with these characters, which is not what I expected. I thought that I would be glad to be done with it and ticked it off, but I'm actually really enjoying it, so this is very good. And now we're just gonna go and fly through the last little bit at the end now. Did I finish this book or did this book finish me? The ending, I saw it coming. I knew it was coming. I had it spoiled for myself and it still hurt. I'm sad that it happened, but it did make me care about the story more. They also just brushed over it in like 2 seconds. I was like, I'm not over it. How are you? Anyways, I do think that this is better than book 1. I enjoyed this a lot more and I can't believe that it's done. I've read 6 of Crow's duology now. I can't believe I can say that. I feel like I need to go and stare at a wall now. I don't know what to read, or I need to process and grieve this book and what I just read, because that was crazy. Let me know in the comments if there is a book series you know that I'm in the middle of reading that you want me to finish together next. There are quite a few that I need to. Okay, I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.